If you love Paul Harvey stories and the rest of the story, subscribe now. The rest of the story: more than 20 years ago, President Richard Nixon was poised to declare a national war on drugs, a public health movement of unprecedented proportions, calling drug abuse, quote, America's #1 problem. The president planned to establish a brand new super agency to deal with it, something modeled after the FBI and the CIA, a costly new national police force, which you now know as the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency. The president's general in this war was a capable young crusader named the Eagle Crow, Krogh, but there was only so much of him to go around. In order to mobilize these new anti-drug troops successfully, Nixon would need not only additional leadership, but the very best men and women available in the field of covert operations. Now enter Supernarc. The Supernarc. He is the rest of the story. December 21st, 1970. On an airplane speeding toward the nation's capital, Senator George Murphy and Supernarc sat side by side, deep in conversation. The Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs had already been established. Supernarc was on his way there to receive critical instructions. A meeting with FBI Director Hoover might be advisable. The senator and Murphy agreed. Arrangements would be made the moment they landed. At the same time, Supernarc and his staff would head for the Justice Building, perhaps stop off at the White House along the way. And this they did. The White House sentry took the sealed envelope containing a top-secret handwritten communique from Supernarc. Then on to the BNDD. Afterwards, Supernarc returned to his hotel. Waiting for him was an urgent message from the President of the United States. Please come to the White House at once. He did. They met, just the two of them, in the Oval Office, discussing strategy. Supernarc would remain in Washington 10 more days. And then on New Year's Eve, another meeting, this one at FBI headquarters. Never before nor since, as far as I know, has a non-FBI agent ever been permitted to enter that sanctum sanctorum carrying his own concealed weapon. But Supernarc did. That's how important he was, or at least was perceived to be. But according to at least one source, when Supernarc met with the President of the United States as he entered the Oval Office itself, he was high. That he was not only high on speed, but he was scratching the hives on his neck, an allergic reaction to yet another controlled substance. It can be argued that nobody really took Supernarc seriously. That all you've just learned was nothing more than a bunch of influential men flattering another influential man. But don't let it be forgotten, once upon a time, on direct orders from the President of the United States, the Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs broke its #1 rule and outright gave one of their precious badges, the badge of a full-fledged BNDD agent, to a fellow who merely believed that he was a narc. He was a civilian, named Elvis Presley. And now you know the rest of the story.